there's been a lot of stuff trying to get in my way of making this video today for Capital Stage family. My contacts wouldn't go in right. It was just one of those days where it was like, abort mission, attack all things inside the eye, eradicate, eradicate. And then there was construction outside, which might still happen. But we're just going to power through. We shall prevail. We shall prevail. Let's see. This is a video blog. Hi, Cap Stage. I miss you, I love you. It's Brittni Barger, in case you don't know who I am. I played Nora in A Doll's House. I recently played Lizzie Darcy in The Wickhams and Miss Bennet the years before that. So, dun-dun-dun-dun. I hope you're well. I hope you're staying home and staying well. The first question is, when in your career have you felt the power of the mantra, the show must go on? When did a challenge present itself, pre or mid-performance, that you had to deal with? Forgotten prop? Question mark? Missed instruments? Missed how to pronounce a line, maybe. Set malfunction. How did you continue? Well, most recently, in The Wickhams, there was a moment where, I don't know if you remember, but I have a very important letter in my pocket as Lizzie Darcy. And there was one day where I did not have that letter in my pocket. And so my mind raced at 1,000 miles per minute, and I ran off stage in the appropriate, where the letter would be, I guess, grabbed it and came back on. And nobody on stage missed a beat. We all just kind of moved forward. The show went on accordingly. That was one of my most horrifying moments on stage as an actor, because that's not a very professional thing to do. But I never forgot it again. And it was just the one time. So I blame Rob, who played Mr. Darcy. He didn't remind, that was the one time he didn't remind me. He always would ask me before we go on stage, do you have the letter in your pocket? And I would always give a little tip tap. And didn't happen that night. So it's clearly his fault for not checking my prop. That was one. Another one was in a show at B Street where Stephanie Althos actually got a crazy ear infection. It was so traumatizing to watch her go through so much pain. She was like writhing in the floor in agony, and we just had to send her to the hospital because she was just not in a state to be on stage. And we did have an understudy at the time, but she had not been prepped for the show. It was one of the interns at B Street, and so they just kind of put a script in her hand, and we let the audience know in advance what had happened, and we just went on with the show. And she did an amazing job. She had kind of known the blocking because she had followed Stephanie's notes and watched her in rehearsal process, so she knew kind of where to go, and we kind of guided her on stage throughout the show. And I think it's kind of a treat for audiences sometimes to see those little things that nobody really gets to see. That was the only audience that ever had that kind of experience, so it was a special thing for everybody that day. And Stephanie got well, and she was able to perform in all of the other performances after that, luckily. But the intern did a great job, and everybody kind of just rallied together and saw it through till the end of the show. And it was a fun, exciting experience that made you really present in the moment and kept you on your toes. And we were all just there to tell a story and have fun, which is exactly what happened. How are you coping with these post-coronavirus times? As well as I can. I don't know if some of you know, but maybe not all. I teach yoga, and so I have been able to continue doing that through live streams, through Zoom, the app that a lot of theaters are using now in order to do live readings and things like that. So that's what I teach yoga through, and I have really committed hardcore to my practice and that in meditation. Just taking it one day at a time. It's really hard to get up and stay inside and feel like you're not doing anything, but doing nothing is doing everything. It's making all the difference. And so it's easy to forget that. The meditation has helped a lot with remembering the sacrifices of doing this shelter in place are really serving the greater good. So that's just something I'm working on remembering every day and committing to my yoga practice. How do you feel about closing whatever projects you were working on so suddenly? You know, I really liked the projects I had coming up. They weren't theater projects, they were commercial projects. And I really liked the people that I got to work with in the past. They were all repeat working with. That's not the correct terminology. But I would venture to say that I'll be able to work with them in the future again, hopefully. They were really fun projects, and I still have been rehearsing the scripts that they gave me because I want to be ready in case those things get, started back up anytime in the next few weeks. I want to be fresh. How are you maintaining your craft? Just answered that. Still practicing the lines. Or what's a new daily quarantine habit you've discovered? One that helps. I've discovered that, again, when we're in these kind of at-home situations, hold up, no one's really giving us direction or telling us what to do or what projects we need to be working towards. And that's really hard. It's hard to feel that sense of self-worth when you're not actively working towards something. But I've noticed in the past and in different situations in life that some of my most rewarding times are when I take a pause and I step back and I just listen and I get real quiet. And those are some of the most important times of learning for me, important times of my craft and it developing, are when you're not even working towards anything at all, when you're not finely tuning anything, you're just listening to the things around you. You're just being completely present, and learning how to be present is about becoming still and becoming quiet and really investing in the moment that is in front of you. Instead of thinking about the past, instead of thinking about the future, you're just paying attention to the present. And that's what I'm focusing on right now during this time. What would you like to say out to everyone out there? That's not what she wrote, but I can't read. What would you like to say? What would you like to say to everyone out there or to other artists? What I'd like to say to other artists is that you don't have to write King Lear, that stupid ass meme that's going around right now. You don't have to do your life's great work during this timeout period, during this time that you're home. That don't set those expectations so high for yourself. What you are when you wake up in the morning, what you choose to do with your day, when you're being present, that is enough. You are absolutely enough exactly as you are right now. And please, please remember that you don't need to do anything extraordinary right now. You are doing something extraordinary by listening to these sanctions and staying in place and protecting others from spreading this virus. That is enough. What has been your favorite Capitol Stage memory? Oh my gosh, I should have read these beforehand. I have a lot. There are, my gosh, what is a favorite Capitol Stage memory? I think just times in the dressing rooms. I've had some really great dressing rooms at Capitol Stage, shared some space with some amazing people. Miss Bennett was a total absolute joy. Both years had slightly different casts, and it was equally rewarding in very different ways. The Wickhams was a really fun experience. Getting to know Elena Wright by sharing a room with her in A Doll's House. Just the people have been the exceptional part of every show at Capitol Stage. Man, they hire some real heavy hitters in the acting and just humaning department. They're just real good humans. And those are my favorite memories. Answer the question of what is Capitol Stage? Capitol Stage is a place that has cultivated an environment of safety, of support, of playfulness, and above all, professionalism. Capitol Stage is a beacon of theatrical professionalism in how they tell stories, in who they choose to tell the stories, in how they treat humans. The humans that walk through the door to watch the show, the humans that walk through the door to perform the show. They just are really good at treating human beings with respect. It's a rare gift. Why do you think Capitol Stage will weather this storm? Why do we need to keep Capitol Stage going? For the reason I just said. They know what it is. There's a great quote that I just read by Oscar Wilde, and it's that theater is the highest. I'm paraphrasing, like up the butt here, starting with that. Theater is the highest form of art because it is the one place where you have humans that are communicating what it is to be human. Something like that. And that is like the perfect embodiment of what Capital Stage does, and it is the perfect reason that it should absolutely keep going, is that the things that I have felt watching those shows, the things that I have felt doing those shows, it is the closest to that innate truth that I search for in everything I do. That is, it taps into what it is, that primal, that capital S self that I look for in meditation, that I look for in yoga, that this performing art, this place, this theater specifically, brings me closer to that truth, brings others closer to that truth, I think. And that's why they are so necessary to our lives moving forward. How do you think performing arts organizations need to evolve to rise to today's quarantine way of living? Technology. I think that Zoom is a great way that people are connecting and doing live readings. So like I was saying about getting quiet and listening and just kind of watching other performers and really taking note and really observing in different kinds of ways, not just letting the performances wash over you, but really getting detailed and specific about what you're watching. This is a silly example, but maybe not. Like, art in every form is valid. Big Mouth is an animated series that I love very much on Netflix, and they just did a Zoom live reading on YouTube, which I thought was absolutely fascinating. Not even just because it was fun entertainment, but you got to watch what a lot of people don't get to watch, which is this live reading of a script amongst the cast. And so you get to look at different things, different deliveries, different choices in the early stages of a script reading, which is fascinating to me, and I really enjoyed that. I don't remember what the question is. Zoom and virtual readings, I think you can reach people inside their homes in a lot of different ways. YouTube, telling stories has taken on so many different forms in social media, and I think exploring those forms is going to be totally necessary coming up in this time specifically, but also because we've reached this new frontier, because we've broken through this barrier of having to reach out on these kind of mediums. Now it's going to be more the norm than it was before. How do you think performing arts organizations... Oh, no, just read that one. Do you have any questions you'd like to ask Michael regarding Capital Stage at this extraordinary time? Ooh, Michael. Well, how you doing, bud? I love you. That's all. Yeah, thank you so much for including me in this. I miss you guys. Reach out to me. I would love to communicate with you to see how you're doing. I'm on Instagram. It's just my name, at Brittni Barger, Brittni Barger. And yeah, tell me what you've been up to, what kind of art you've been taking in, and what your quarantine process is. I really do miss you, and I really want to hear from you. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye.